many years ago, I woke up thinking, could my child be a psychopath or possibly be a psychopath? Because I had a lot of unfortunate events happening in my home, a series of them. And I really didn't know what to do to help these children. Trying to talk to my little ones just really didn't work, never did. So I knew cognitive therapy was not going to work for my children. They had so many problems, and I didn't understand why. I finally went to a seminar where I was listening to a wonderful lady giving a talk about reactive attachment disorder. Have you ever heard of that? It's a very frightening thing for parents to endure because they don't know what they're dealing with, they don't know how to handle it, they don't know therapists that know how to help the children. So there I was, being a parent, trying to figure out how to parent two reactive attachment disorder children. Now, once I found out it was called reactive attachment disorder, I realized there was another name for it. It's also called developmental trauma disorder. My two RADs are adults now, and they're wonderful people, but I barely made it through parenting those kids. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And I got through by the skin of my teeth. So at that point in time, I realized other parents needed help like me. We just need help. And there are no services. There are no insurances that cover these kids. That is our problem. I was called one day. A nice gentleman called me and said, "Do you want to meet with some ladies? They're going to be discussing starting a council for parents." And I said, "Wow, really? I think that might help my parents, so I'd be willing to come listen." I went and I listened. These ladies were marvelous. What they were talking about was putting groups of people together to discuss the different problems, to pass information back and forth. Because you see, our state government can't do it all. Neither can our federal government. It's going to take a village. And we were that village, and we knew it. I met, at one of our parent council meetings, I met a most marvelous lady. She was a legislative advocate. And she was amazing. I told her, our parents are having a problem here because they can't find services. They're going to the state to get services. Well, guess what? The state doesn't have any. And so they put the parents off, and they won't help them. But in order to get the services, they ask the parents to relinquish their rights over that child. Can you imagine relinquishing rights over your child to get services for that child? I thought that was wrong. So we went, the legislative advocate and I went to my legislative representative in my county. We started up a House bill, and you know what? We got it passed unanimously. Yay for us. I was really happy. My husband and I, we teach at the prison, and do you know what we're noticing there? Reactive attachment disorder all over the place. We teach twice a month, and we love these men. But we feel sorry for them because they didn't get any services. We feel sorry for their families, but we especially feel sorry for the victims. And we don't need this. We can change a lot if we get the right things going. The good news is there's new technology. They're doing brain maps. Have you ever heard of brain mapping? I love it. What they found out is they do these EEGs on the brain. And they found out how to basically scope through the brain to see what areas were having problems for reactive attachment disordered people. I took my children to have the brain maps done. My one son, the guy came out and he said, "Don't ever turn your back on this kid." I thought, oh, okay. What's wrong with him? So the main problems they have is in the frontal lobes, they have it in the limbic system, and they have it in the amygdala. Now those things can create a lot of problems for our society and for these children and for their families. We found out that the things that are wrong with the brain are causing these children to be, and I'm going to read this slowly to you, impulsive, aggressive, sexual, addictive, controlling, depressed, secretive, charismatic, dangerous, and very loved by the families who understand why their brains aren't working right. We love our kids. So schooling for RAD kids is really tough because they can manipulate their teachers. They can manipulate the administrators. And the parents are going, what did I do wrong? Because these children will bear false witness against their moms and dads. So what we found is that there was one lady in our group that started a parent counseling service, and she coaches other parents, and she's a wonderful lady. She developed a chart to tell the administrators and the teachers what they needed to do, or what areas of this child's life was being affected. Now, on this chart, there's 4 different colored areas, and the chart represents the behaviors of the child and why they're behaving the way they do. And it really helps the teachers to see, oh, I might be getting manipulated. By having this chart and showing it to the public schools, you can get an individual education plan. So our specific group is trying to create a village kind of like a boarding school with calming corners. Your regular schools don't have calming corners. When a kid has a lot of anxiety, they have problems. So we want evidence-based therapies, farming projects, and 24/7 security in this village. If you have a RAD child, be sure to document their behaviors. Save yourself from courtroom drama. They bear false witness. Are you looking for therapists? We have recommendations. Please go to our site on Facebook, which is the Parent Advocacy Council for RAD, because it's easier to remember that way. And if you want to start a group of your own, with your own parents, come join our group. We'd love to have you. And so for more information, you can go to my website, which is jennydo1@yahoo.com, or go to the Parent Advocacy Council for RAD on Facebook. And for the chart that I mentioned, go to serenitylinkscoaching.com. Thank you very much.